Hi guys, it's Beck from Evolve Education. I'm going to quickly show you how to use Google Meet to have video conferencing with your students if they're learning from home. So open up your browser. If you don't see the sign in sign come up, it's because you need to type in the Google URL, type it in, and you'll see that the sign in button appears. Then you can log in using any account that you like, whatever you're using to communicate with your students. It might be at schools, at education. It might even be an at example primary school if you've set up Google Apps for Education separately. So we log in, we go to the waffle, and we're going to go down to Google Meet, and we're taken to this lovely landing page, and we want to start a meeting. I'm going to label my meeting with my class, the day and what time it is. As soon as I log in, I can see that my camera is working and a code is going to pop up when I go to join now. And you can copy this joining info, and I would be pasting that into your Google Classroom every day. You can add your students individually and they will get an email with this joining info, but by putting it into Google Classroom, it means that your kids are encouraged to log on to the Google Classroom every morning to start that video conference, and that's where they'll be accessing their tasks and activities from. So a quick little tour of Google Meet. If you go down to the settings down the bottom, I would be doing a test before you speak to your kids to make sure that your microphone is working and to make sure that your speakers are working so that you can help your kids if they need troubleshooting, knowing that everything is all good your end. So I can see the camera's clearly working. That's the first thing I'd be having a look at. Secondly, if we look down here, this is a mute button. That's for muting yourself. You can hang up the call, or if you're still in your pajamas, you can turn your camera off. I'm sure the kids want to see your face though, so up to you. If you come up to the top right hand corner, this is where I can see all of the participants on the video conference, and you can individually mute certain participants. When you have your first video conference, you might like to spend that time setting up some conventions for how you want to be communicating online, whether it's through video conferencing, through the chat function that's listed here, which I'll show you in a minute, and also in your Google Classroom. If you've used Google Classroom before, you see that you can get really silly comment threads with kids. I'd be setting up some rules and expectations on how you want to be communicating on the Google Apps as a class. So as I mentioned, there is a chat function, so I can come down here and say good morning to everyone, and that pops up there. The good thing is you can monitor this chat so you can see what kids are writing in the group. So to close this down, I simply click on the screen and it goes away. If I need to access that joining info, I can access it from down here. And my favorite feature about Google Meet and why it's such a great teaching tool is there's this present now function. So if I click on this one, I can make my entire screen viewable by the class. And it's great. It actually gives you this little sign down the bottom just to remind you that you're screencasting, just in case you forget and you go and do some work while they're teaching. It keeps you reminded that your screen's being watched. So an example of something that you might like to show is Zoos Victoria have Animal House, which is live streaming. This is just an example. So if you've got sites that you want your kids to check out, you can explore them together as a class and give them a bit of a walkthrough before they go off and have a look themselves. So this is lovely. The penguins are great. They're often there. They're not there today, but I can see the zebras are there too. So you can go and have a little look at the live cams, or it's just a great tool for directing kids to interesting sites or where they can find work, or even explaining things. If you've got kids that are having lots of trouble uploading tasks to Google Classroom, you can actually walk them through some of those steps. Maybe a smaller meeting of kids, if you've got 5 kids that are having trouble with Google Classroom, you can maybe set a meeting time for them to all jump on and just show those 5 kids in detail and take a bit more time. That's where it's a really great tool. Anyway, I wish you luck. If you need any help at all, please don't hesitate to send me an email and I will help you where I can.